Ladies and gentlemen, the crypto space is as crazy as ever. And honestly, a lot of coins that I'd kind of forgotten about for a while have all of a sudden started to go crazy. I mean, Core was one of the coins I posted on Twitter just a few days ago because the price had been going that insane. So I posted this at $1.65 just yesterday. And today, the price of Core, as you can see, is nearly $3.60. But as well, ATR, we talked about in a live stream a while back. I basically was explaining to you guys why I'm trying to buy a lot of these $1 million gems, because some, like with my Nosana, can go to 100 or 200 million, if not more. And back then, I think it was at 900K or so when I made that call in my live stream. And right now, it's at nearly 20 million. So for anybody that was watching the stream, you're up to 20x. And honest truth, there are going to be so many more, whatever the frick coins, that will go crazy in a very short amount of time. But a lot of it is still based on timing. One thing I'll tell you guys straight away here is that right now as it stands, we're not in the complete best position to buy altcoins just quite yet. It still has to come. Many people have told me, Dusty, what if this is already the top? And my counter to that is, but this will be so weak. The halving of Bitcoin is in what, 20 days or so, so it's very close. But historically, Bitcoin has not made a new all-time high before the halving yet. It happens, I think, a couple months after the halving. So this time, everything was kind of like sped up by a certain factor, but I still honestly believe that we have basically seen nothing yet. That all the craziness is about to come over the next few months, especially once Bitcoin gets closer to that 100K mark. Because I think that that's when a lot of these altcoins are finally going to start going crazy that right now have been kind of mild. Because I mean, to keep it a buck with you guys, many of our top altcoins have not even reclaimed their throne. Yes, there are a lot of meme coins, for example, that have completely left our traditional altcoins in the dust. But honest truth, for the most part, it's still been kind of whack. Even that one of the trendiest coins out there, Solana, is still down like 26% from its all-time high. It hasn't even broken through, even though it's like so extremely hot right now. And that brings up a very important point. Even though I am mostly focusing on new coins that are launching, because I think that's where the majority of the money lies, the almost guaranteed money. And I mean, there are many projects I'm looking into. One of the ones coming up tomorrow, I'll still make a video about this, I think, a little bit later today. But one of the ones coming up tomorrow is Sugar Kingdom, for example. And this is just where everything what I've been telling you comes together with these type of projects. I'm not saying it's going to do a 1000x at the start, but these are the type of projects I'm trying to get into. Followed by a lot of cool companies that I know, followed by a lot of cool guys, is always a good hint to me. A gaming platform, all right, that's a nice buzzword, and buzzwords matter, even though some people think they don't. For BRC tokens, extremely bullish. But as I said, I'll do a more in-depth piece on why exactly this one and some cool features that they've got, because I want to help them out a little bit, because I hope they're going to have a very successful launch. I don't expect anything else. But anyway, I'm invested. I think it's going to be pretty wild. But all I can say about that is we shall see. In that department, there are so many different good projects. And I think I should be making more videos talking about which projects I'm looking into. So hopefully you guys can get set up a little bit quicker on where to buy, how to buy, yada, yada, yada. To me, it's all super easy, but I understand as well, if this is your first cycle, that you might have to figure out a way, or if you're in a country that's really difficult on crypto, that it's not the easiest thing in the world. For example, Bonus Block is another one we mentioned a couple times on the past. It's also coming closer and closer to launch now. It's also tomorrow, which is also crazy to me, man, how many projects are launching nowadays. And in the meme coin field, I kind of feel as if we've already have too much, because there's so many memes coming up every single day. And at some point, there's too many where the majority of them are just garbage. And it kind of feels like we're getting to that point. But getting back to it, I'm not yet in a phase where I'm afraid of the markets. It's not oversaturated just quite yet. It's not over enthusiastic. That will most likely come over the next few months. But I want to take it back and tell you guys again, the halving is so ridiculously close. And to some extent, I find it scary, because I think you all understand as well that people have been saying, oh, everything's going to rely on the halving. Buy before the halving comes. You're basically front running the people who are going to buy after it. And the crazy squeeze that we could see as the amount of Bitcoin mined per block goes down, yet the demand stays the same. And so the inflation becomes kind of like I guess you could call it, it worsens, but you can also say it's better, depends on your perspective. I'd say since the inflation lowers down, there's more and more possibility for deflation, as a lot of Bitcoin get lost, a lot is stuck in the institutions, which you can almost consider as deflation, because they'll never leave again, right? It's not in the open market anymore. It's within one institution that gatekeeps it and that will never let it go. You can kind of consider them lost, but we don't. But you can kind of consider them lost. And with ETFs coming up as well, we're getting to a kind of scary rapid pace of a lot of major events coming up. And I just want you guys to be ready. I want you guys to be prepared. I want you guys looking in the right directions. I keep saying, I'm looking at all these different projects to invest into. I buy many new projects day one, or sometimes after a few days as the early investors dump it all. And it's not a hard game to get into. You just need the right path. You just need a couple of tips. I'm gonna post a video very soon as well as to how to get in touch with Launchpads. In 2021, any single person that did this and put some effort into it, I think made a ton of money. But again, it can be very, very daunting if you don't know what you're doing. But I got you guys covered on the tutorials. It will come, but I take my time sometimes. There's also an airdrop video I haven't even released, even though I recorded like 5 days ago. And on a side note, many of my memes have been popping off like crazy. For example, I made a video talking about 𝗲𝗏, right? Hopefully you guys saw that. I made a video about 𝗲𝗏, and I think just over the next 2 days or so, the price went up, what, 25% or something like that. Of course, today it's a little bit down because everything in crypto is down yet again. But I think ever since I made that video, it was like maybe 26 cents or so, and it went to roughly 36 cents in a very, very short amount of time. As far as I know, it was up at least 25, if not more percent, maybe 35%, which brings me back to the point of, if you're in a bull market, don't be so scared. Many people text me, say, Dusty, if I had $1,000, what should I be doing? And the best response I can give is, if you don't know yet, please start at the basics of understand what the crypto space is, understand how to buy and sell, and start risking. I know that's like the worst advice, which is why I say I'm not a financial advisor. I'm still considered a degenerate because I don't like to be too safe with it, because scared money don't make no money. If you really want to make, sure your $1,000 stays safe, put it in a, I guess, yeah, there's no way to really do that. There's only safety as far as you consider something to be safe. Gold is not inherently safe. A bank account is not inherently safe. Cash is not necessarily safe. So what is really safety, huh? I guess that's where crypto could come in, but there's still flaws to that even. Anyway, if you want it like the base case, just buy Bitcoin and Ethereum and you'll be fine. You want to go a little bit crazier, go down the rankings of the top market cap. If you want to go crazier and crazier, keep going down lower and lower along the ranks. And if you want to be more specific, go for certain niches, certain areas like real world assets or deepen that are really hot right now, because it's very stupid, in my opinion, to go for things which are not getting any traction. Again, sometimes like ATR, I call out the traction before it even happens, but that's because we've been here for a long time and have a pretty good team. With 𝗲𝗏 over the last couple of days, I guess it just made sense because memes absolutely popped off. With core, I think that was a lucky strike, honestly. And there's another thing people need to understand really, really nicely or carefully. Let's say, this is the most important part. Let me say that again. If we're talking about 10 projects, 2 of them will really do bad. Let's say 3 of them will do medium, and then 5 of them will shine, out of which 1 will really, really shine. And that's ultimately the goal. Yes, you could say the goal is to have everything shine, but it doesn't happen in the real world. If you invest in 10 projects, you know that some of them are not going to pop off, but that's completely fine, because if we're taking a random meme coin, for example, if I invest in 5 meme coins and I invest $2,000 each, I've now spent $10,000 to acquire these, right? 4 of them could go to 0 and it happens. But the one, like I show you guys when I said I was buying costs, did a 35x, so that was 2,000 to 70,000, for example. It happens also. And it's not once, it's not twice. If you consistently keep investing into crazy opportunities, when the market's really, really good, you're in a good position, you have good timing, it can reward handsomely. The problem is, though, sometimes, for example, the odd is, let's say the odds are 1 out of 20. It could still be so that you have to try 40 or 50 times, because even if you have 1 in 20 odds, right, it doesn't always have to strike after 20. You have these outliers, you can sometimes get unlucky. And so you gotta have the payroll, you gotta have the opportunity, basically, and the stamina to keep it up. But the reason I sometimes go so crazy on these small coins is because I know from experience, if I buy $101 million coins, right? So not $100 million, it just mean I invest when the market cap's at $1 million. Most of them will probably stick around that at maybe 2, 3, 5, 6, 7x. but some of them will do a 300, 400, maybe even 700x over time. It's happened. I've seen it happen. And to me, it's just impossible to lose money. The only question is, would it have not been better to open a, for example, 10x Ethereum long, for example, or just go with big size into Bitcoin, DCA down, and have a guaranteed profit, basically? That's what I always weighed off with. Not, should I invest or should I not do it? No, my only question is, could I not better go for a Bitcoin/Ethereum long with some size? Or could I not just better buy altcoins on the spot instead of going for these crazy 100x strategies? But most of the time, especially in markets like this, for example, now meme coins are really, really hot. I go for it. You might say it's stupid. Who's buying this crap? I am, because it makes money. It makes sense. The narrative is hot. I just go for it. I don't really care if it doesn't make sense in the back end. If you really want to tell me you're only here for fundamentals, yeah, then we're not the same type of person. Because fundamentals matter in the grand scheme of things, but in the smaller niches, I don't think it really does. And yeah, I'm sticking to that theme there. Anyway, guys, we have the Bitcoin halving coming up. We have the Ethereum ETF decisions coming up quite shortly. If you're wondering what's happening right now, why crypto's going down, it's honestly a pretty logical feat. I'm not going to say that it's April Fool's, and I don't want to do any April Fool's jokes on the channel here. I think that might be too hurtful for what it's worth. But if you're asking me, what's going on right now is the opportunity to be very, very early is fading. For anybody that's not in yet into the markets, that is, orient yourself. There are some naysayers saying the run is over. It's going to only go down from here. But the majority of people say, no, we probably are just starting out. We're in a really unique circumstance where we've never had a new Bitcoin all-time high before the halving. Halving is in about 20 days from now. I think things will only start getting crazy from there. I'm seeing it in a lot of the altcoins that I'm buying that, yes, the momentum is back. Yes, a lot of these older altcoins are starting to reach their all-time high again, like Solana is getting close to it now. And that if we look a couple of months to the future, we will definitely, or I should say seriously, see some massive moves, but it all depends on how quick Bitcoin makes it move. Right now, Bitcoin fell down about $2,000 or so. People get scared. It doesn't really work for altcoins in general. But as Bitcoin picks up, hopefully, especially after the halving, I think altcoins are going to have a field day. And I'm still buying into the things I've described to you guys before. Most of the narratives I've described are still really, really bullish. DeepIn, like I said, I'm still extremely excited about. AI as a concept, I'm still really, really excited about. I think RWA is very, very hot. Oracles are very, very hot right now. I think Pendle, oh, it's actually up a ton since I last saw it. But I bought some Pendle recently. I still think it could do really, really well, but it's up a lot already here. Oracles, if you do not know, it's like coins like Chainlink, and there are many of that. The Bitcoin ecosystem is still very, very hot. Right now, everybody's talking about base. If you've not got anything base related, you might want to, take a little bit of time to do so. The only problem with base I find right now is that the majority of things hot on there are memes, but that will, that will change rather quickly. Just give it a little bit of time. And I'll be back shortly with a couple of really, really cool videos. Just give me a little bit of time. A little fun fact, why I wasn't recording anything is because something still is stuck in my eye, I think. I was in the desert celebrating a birthday, and all of a sudden, something caught in my eye, and now I have to keep blinking, but every time I blink, it hurts. I'm not sure if it's just something torn or if there's sand inside, which could be. But at the start, it was like this. So I thought it wouldn't be appropriate to be recording a video like a maniac, You guys would think that the bull market's really caught up, and I've started to go insane. Not yet, guys. Give me another few months. But yeah, that was it for right now from headquarters. If there's something cool coming up, I'll tell you guys about it. But mostly it's just new projects launching, which I'm really excited to see. And the market dipping down, people getting scared, but it ain't that big a deal.